Good morning. I am Reverend Jami, and if you did not see the announcement in the newsletter, it is with mixed feelings that I tell you all this morning that I will no longer be your minister after December because I'm taking a full-time job with the Unitarian Universalist Association. So I'll still be around. It's a national position doing social justice work on transgender things specifically, and then also chaplaincy for our larger UUA staff. So you'll still see me, but we will have to go through the process where I'm not supposed to talk to you for 2 years. To give you a chance, if you have another minister, to not have the confusing overlap thing. Obviously, we all live here in Texas. I'm not moving. If I run into you at breakfast somewhere, we can't do anything about that. So that's the major announcement. The other one is we are having UU orientation next Sunday. If you didn't get this from the welcome table, these are at the welcome table. And it starts at 12 and it goes to 1:30, and I will be there helping to lead it. And you can RSVP Claire Dugan. And also, this is a message from Reverend Sophia, our UUA president for Israel and Palestine. I just wanted to take a moment for prayer and meditation about that. She says, and I quote, "I pray for the people of Israel and Palestine. I pray for leaders around the globe who must respond to this latest flare of violence and the untenable ethical considerations that abound. I pray for Muslim and Jewish UUs who experience the impact of this long strife acutely. I pray for those of us less likely to know the trauma of unending brutality and harm will not turn away from generational loss, from the devastating realities and their root causes, or from the relentless tragedy of war and occupation. Be gentle with yourselves when you need to be, but do not turn away unless you must. We are one global family living tenuously on the same human-impacted earth. Let us center ourselves in justice as we call for peace." You can find more on her official statement on the UUA website. And now for the rest of the service.
Third time has to be the charm. Hold both of them. Thank you, Bill. Yeah. With this one. Good morning, and welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Thank you. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching at home, we're so glad that you're here. My name is Vivian Stidvent, and my pronouns are she and her. I've been a member of San Gabriel since 2016, and in addition to serving as lay leader today, I enjoy contributing to our fellowship as a member of the board. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. There are over 1,000 UU congregations in the United States. All of us together are working for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. Sustaining each other here in community is the first step down the long road of that important work. If you would like to know more about us and learn about upcoming events, please fill out the visitor's card in the seat back pocket in front of you to sign up for our newsletter. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. And now our opening hymn is Find a Stillness. That is in the gray hymnal, but the lyrics will also be projected. And for the introduction, Jean will play through the entire hymn. And then may please rise in body or spirit as you are able.
As we light our chalice, we create space together that is sacred. I call you into this time of connection with, among, and beyond with the words of Tara Humphreys. Whether you were from the South, the East, the North, or the West, whether you were born into this faith, found it, or it found you, whether you feel at home or you are still trying to find your place, whether you believe in God, are open to mystery, or still have no idea, whether you are underemployed, employed, cobbling things together, overworking, retired, or in school, whether you are holding anxiety, grief, confusion, anger, hopelessness, restlessness, or deep peace. Unitarian Universalism has a place for you. It is right here, and this chalice is lit for you.
Our affirmation is an expression of our covenant with one another. Please read after me, and the words will also be projected. The doctrine of this church is love. We are here to love. The quest of truth is its sacrament. We are here to learn. Service is its prayer. We are here to care for others. To dwell together in peace. We are here to live in peace. To seek knowledge in freedom. We are here to honor our differences. To serve humanity in fellowship. We are all connected in spirit. To the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. We are here to grow. Thus do we covenant with one another. This we promise to do together. And now it's time for our Wonder Box, and I think Karina is well on her way to sharing that with us.
You know, we could do this a little differently today. We could take some hints. You could make some questions. I could give you a hint as to what's in here this morning. We'll use our wondering minds together. You want to? Cards? Dealing cards. Deck of cards.
Gag orders.
Gag orders. We've gone, what was it first? Indictments to... What else? It sounds noisy. You could ask me, is it colorful? And I would tell you yes. Crayons. That could be a good one. All right, I think we'll open it up. People are busy in the back, so we'll do it from here. Ooh. Anybody know what this is? My future son-in-law knows how to do these in seconds. Can do them really, really quickly. I've never been able to figure one of these out. But it's a puzzle, and let's see what our story tells us about puzzles today.
What do you do with a problem? Written by Kobe Yamada, illustrated by May Bessam, published by Compendium Kids. I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was there. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem? I thought. I wanted to make it go away. I shooed it, I scowled at it, I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallows me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this and I worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself, but it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. So even though I didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and to grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. The end.
Hope I'm doing this right with the microphone. I'm sorry. Yes, I don't know if I'm really willing with the Rubik's Cube to see the opportunity there. I should learn it. But I like that sentiment in the story, that there are ways that we can approach things and change things around with our attitudes. And I think that's what Reverend Jami is going to be speaking to us about today. For our activity, we are going to construct some things. We're going to do some problem solving with boxes and cardboard and such, and we might even go outside on this beautiful day. If you'd like to join us, we'll be doing that.
So this sermon is about anxiety, and this is sort of part one. It's systematic anxiety. The congregation is part of a system. You all have personal anxiety that's collective anxiety, and so part two will be some resources in the newsletter. But this is about us as a collective whole, just as a small caveat. So what do you do with a problem? The book that Karina brought us today is spot on for this moment in time in our congregation, because I realize that your minister letting you know that they will be leaving in December might present as somewhat of a problem. There are other problems, of course. There always will be. But right now, this is the most live issue in our congregation. Some of you, depending on where you are situated in leadership, will personally feel this and will be involved in a different level, perhaps deeper than others. This is a new shift in what I call the church's DNA. It is change, and beyond this shift, there were many changes before in our past 15 years. They float around. The founders of this congregation, to the newest members, and everything in between, and all that is the future, we have been through a lot, and we will go through more. From time to time, I have observed anxiety creep in. And church anxiety is its own special thing. What does church anxiety look like? Well, the United Church of Christ shares these words about how it presents in their congregations. See if you can see some patterns of San Gabriel and other UU congregations in this next part. We think of anxiety as an emotional state that individuals experience, like feeling of worry or unease, or you're just feeling off. But grounded individuals participating in congregational organizations can produce a collective nervousness, An anxious church tends to overthink any decision before taking action, imagine and expect negative outcomes, worry about the very worst that could happen, respond poorly to any negative feedback from members, be extremely self-critical. High anxiety gets churches stuck in an unproductive loop, and over time, that loop actually increases anxiety. For both individuals and organizations, this anxiety manifests itself in a variety of symptoms. It shows up in how we act, how we feel, and how we think. And when a church gets caught up in the anxiety trap, leaders fail to see the big picture and do not take advantage of the opportunities around them. And this anxiety creates a bottleneck. The congregation must address all three dimensions where anxiety surfaces to get through it. Behavioral traps. The default mode of operation for anxiety-prone congregations is postponing decisions, conducting more research, and gathering more information than necessary, and waiting for attitudes or opinions to change. This approach often means that congregations are working harder, using outdated or failed strategies. The old proverb, if all you ever do is all you've ever done, then all you'll get is all you've ever got, summarizes this truth. The blend of postponing action mixed with all or nothing approaches are warning signs that indicate congregations have persisted too long in certain behaviors. To get out of a no action mode, set deadlines for action and make those deadlines public for accountability. Research shows that deciding when and where actions are to be taken increases the odds of following through. Consistently review plans and keep moving forward on implementation. Do not let the behavior of a few hijack the congregation's ability to boldly act on a core missional goal. The squeaky wheel does not always need to get greased. The mission is also key. It is like a mirror that should reflect who we are. If our congregation fails to act on its missional goals, the congregation is not who it says it is. Rediscovering our mission and our covenant and recommitting to them increases our resilience to anxiety. Our thinking can be bogged down in cognitive traps. For instance, information and knowledge are essential ingredients for making decisions, but these two alone are insufficient in an imperfect world. To move forward in mission requires covenant and community, the willingness to focus on both the positive and the negative, and some ability to tolerate ambiguity. Anxiety-prone congregations wired to consider any potential negative outcomes can be sort of a trend, and then it's contagious. However, with practice, congregational leaders and members of the congregation can routinely put on the table for discussion all the potential positive outcomes and give them equal hearing. In addition, congregations can recognize the potential harm arising from an action. Even when the congregation recognizes that a negative outcome is possible, leaders can still believe taking action is worth the risk and there is value in acting inside the uncertainty. The overall emotional temperature of the congregation determines the likelihood of tsunami-level anxiety. Alice Boyce describes an anxiety-prone individual as someone whose answers start at no and may move to yes. A congregation whose default is no to any proposed action is a congregation that uses a lot of emotional energy to process change or even the idea of change. When reducing anxiety becomes the goal, rather than the goals themselves, congregants can take the bait for that emotional trap. Congregational anxiety can cost you in terms of missed opportunities. The way a church feels, thinks, and acts grows into a deep-seated habit. In some congregations, these behavioral, emotional, and cognitive patterns solidify into obsessions. I know of a congregation in my work with the UUA on the conflict management team that had 2 acres of undeveloped land with which they had to market next to a suburban church. Leaders began discussing whether the congregation should purchase the additional acreage. Differences of opinions became arguments, and arguments led to a split in opinions in the congregation about whether funds should be used more wisely elsewhere. Uncertainty about whether the church would grow was a whole thing, and if they would ever need that space was a whole thing. And others who wanted to control over the types of development likely to be adjacent to the church's property also developed. After 6 months of debate and delay, they realized that their anxiety and uncertainties had generated familiar habits. With renewed commitment to their mission and goals, the congregation sought out several community partners, a preschool, and a local Habitat for Humanity chapter. After purchasing the property, the congregation helped these 2 nonprofits obtain grants to build a school and new family housing. By consciously moving past their negative thinking, they played a critical role in shaping community resources that fostered their neighbors' quality of life. I have witnessed that San Gabriel is doing the same thing, and we are moving into the community, and it's pretty amazing to watch. So we don't have this problem. So the answer, as we learned, is that what you do when you have a problem is you don't hide from it. You face it, because the only way out is through. I am confident that my leaving will eventually be the least of your worries, but we will have 3 months left together. We will wade through that anxiety of how that feels for both of us. We'll go into deep discernment. I'll give my opinion if you care to hear it about what I think you need next. You'll tell me what you think you need next, and this transition will be as smooth as it possibly can, because I love you, and this is hard. I hope we can continue to focus on our mutual UU core values of love at that time. And when we practice the grace and peace with one another that is needed in our world, when we do that, we become grace and peace ourselves. And in doing so ensures that no matter what comes our way, San Gabriel is here to stay. This is vulnerability, and it's okay. And I'm just very grateful because, as you know, it's been hard to do 3 different jobs. And it is because of you and the work that we have done together that the UUA noticed me and said, hey, we need you to do this full time. Some congregations are clergy killers. That is not you, San Gabriel. I am confident that your reputation in Texas will mean you have great leadership to come. You'll have the regional staff that'll hang around, and I'll be doing an exit interview to also say how it was in my experience. And there's nothing negative, so you're in good shape. And so we have 3 months. Now it's time for our joys and sorrows. I will walk around with this. If you have a joy or a sorrow, raise your hand and we'll go from there. We're on. Who's next? Y'all are a talkative bunch. What's going on? Okay, here we go.
My name is Joe, and I'm quite concerned there's a special session of the legislature starting tomorrow to use what's so-called school choice, which I think is going to be very hard on public schools.
Hi, my name is Irma Collins, and I have been having a lot of tiredness, and I haven't been coming to church a lot. But I'm glad to say that I'm happy to be here. I wish I would have been here more, because you're wonderful. And my sister-in-law's sister passed away, and so we helped our nephew get going. The trouble with the schools have already started. My daughter's having trouble collecting money to get her basketball team on track. So there's just so many things going on in this world. But I'm very happy to be here with you guys today.
Frank here. Happy to report that a group of 4 of us went to the rally yesterday at the Capitol, the voucher protest. I found it very inspiring. It was a good turnout. There were 2,000 or 3,000 people there at least. Lots of signs, lots of support for public schools. They had officials from different school districts. They had students who came through the public school system and are now working on their PhD or their graduate degree or whatever to show that public education can be quality education. What happened? Batteries went out? I didn't even know it.
We're back.
We're a small congregation with a huge number of pastoral concerns. Our people, our median age is like me. And so we have a lot of medical issues in our congregation. We have a couple of folks this week who had heart issues, and we want to remember them. One is Phil Hewitt, and then a good friend of mine and a friend of this congregation is Walt Doring. Walt is in the hospital with heart issues at this time. And then just a point of personal privilege, and I hope this won't be embarrassing, but the Macare family is, did I say that? Did I say, pardon? Macare family is here with us today. Heather and Styx and Sky and someone else? Glad to see you, yes. And I don't speak, of course, for our whole congregation, but we as a congregation, I think, all together express our deep sorrow at the loss of Trent, whose memorial service was a week ago yesterday. The Macars have been visiting our church, and Trent was here a couple of weeks ago. Had a chance to visit with him. So we're sorry for this, and we hope you find some comfort from being in our worship service today. I'm sure there are others, and some of you know more about it than I do, but I wanted to take the opportunity to mention that.
Okay.
My joy is being alive on a day like today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm asking for your prayers for my brother Steve, who was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer.
Good morning, I'm Pat. It's good to be home after being gone for a month, but one of our hymns refers to the splendor of the earth and sky. And if you hadn't had the opportunity to see southern Utah, it's splendor all the way around, every way you look.
My name is Linda, and I want to express my joy at just having all of you gathered in this space, in a place that we all need in Georgetown. I just am filled with such joy. We have new people, we have old people here, and I hope everyone continues to return every Sunday so we have this place of solace and strength to keep us going. Thank you all.
Karina said something about structure and surprise, so this is the surprise part. We're going to line up. The oldest member of the congregation stand here. No, by length. Not by age, by length of membership. Stands here, and then the newest member, or if you're not a member, you've just been visiting, stand at where the table is in the back. And I'm going to trust y'all to have those conversations to figure out who goes where. Did we figure it out? If you can hear me, raise your hand. Okay, the person that's in front of me, how long have you been a member? 2007. That's a long time. The person on the farthest end, sorry, our mic is not working, but how long have you been coming? Okay, so we have 2007 and 20 minutes. I want you all to take this moment in. The joys that were expressed and the concerns are between and among you and around us. And together, this lineage, this actual literal line shows our connections and our community of how long we've been here and where we're going. And I just wanted you all to have a visual of that this morning. Thank you for playing along. All right, our next hymn is Go Lift It Up. It's number 1057 from the Teal hymnal. We will sing through the words 2 times. Please rise as you are able in body and spirit.
We take an offering each week to sustain this space that we call home and to support the work of our fellowship. If this is your first time here, please feel free to let the plate pass you by. Your presence here this morning is a wonderful gift in itself, and we thank you for coming. Please, if you would like to receive our newsletter, you'll see the visitor card in the pocket in front of you. Please fill that out and put it in the plate. For our offertory music, Jean is bringing us Before the Dawn by Michael Logazar. The offering will now be gratefully received, and we thank you.
We extinguish this flame, but not its meaning and mission in our hearts. Our time together has come to an end. Go in peace, be of service to one another, and may you move through the world in love for all of your days.
Could we invite everybody to stay for the potluck? Everybody, whether they
Yeah, Vivian was going to do a closing, but I'll just go ahead and do it. There's a potluck after. Please stay. And also thank you to everybody and Jean Olson for that amazing song and all the other songs and the hymn leaders and all of our wonderful tech crew that had to deal with a bunch this morning and all of you for coming. That's all, folks.